it'll take a little longer than the lady even.
We love. Hey y'all.
Morning.
Good morning. And welcome to Coffee and Conversations. I don't know why I want to say it like that. Coffee and Conversations, but on a good note, we decided to wake up and make today count. And honey, boy, was it a job waking up this morning.
I feel like my eyes are still.
Yes, man. I was like, when I say knocked out, so you know, we have been doing good on the 8:45.
I know.
Oh,
what is it?
But we gave y'all extra 30 minutes yesterday, so maybe we got some grace from God today, because honey,
this conversation going by.
He woke me up, but he woke me up a little later today, honey. I had a great night though. Yesterday was my Sabbath, and just life just feels great.
That's what it was.
Had my nice bath,
real good.
With my boo,
honey. That'll do it.
Wash each other and massage each other, and
that will do it.
Then we get out the tub, and then and then the next part, and then I was exhausted today, but it was an amazing day for the most part. What did I do yesterday? That's what made it so amazing, is that my Sabbath is so relaxing. So I did do my homework I had with my group. I had to do. Did you read that? Wasn't that so? You like the way I put it? Because I was trying to figure out. Listen, I'd be describing myself a million different ways. So
I was saying her in these words. I said, this girl, the way her brain says stuff and puts words, I said, child.
I'd be like, oh, tell me, does this sound right? I don't know. Because, you know, they'd be like, make sure you're talking to the, good morning. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gamisha.
Good morning, lady.
I hope we saying your name right, my love. That's why I'd be like, Queen Anderson. Gamisha, Jamisha. I don't know. We saying it right.
Oh, that's what I've been saying, sis. I'm like, hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Like, hey, Queen. Hey, Queen.
Queen Anderson. But yeah, I just love you. Your energy is it's so amazing.
I love it. That's
so
right.
I'm just so glad that you are up and early with us this morning, because honey, we are up and it is early. Okay.
That part.
Jamisha. Oh, you are a gem. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I love
it. That is cute.
Jamisha, that is it.
All right. Jim. Oh, that was cute. That is cute, Jamisha. Okay, I
like that.
Go ahead.
It's a gem for me. I'm gonna call you Queen Gem. Damn, I'm gonna call you Queen Gem. I like that. You know, I'm gonna have a Queen Gem. You know, precious. All the precious stones, all the precious properties. I love it. Queen Gem. Ooh, that's my nickname for you, boo. Queen Jen in the building. Queen Gem in the building. She'll be dropping them jewels, baby. And you be dropping them jewels,
honey.
I love it.
Yes, y'all. So
how was your night, Melissa? I saw you had an amazing surprise. Day with Nate. I am so freaking happy for you. I was showing Chef Ron, like, how cute is
this? Did you see the fish he caught?
Yes.
I was like, oh, that big old mouth fish.
Now that is what marriage is all about. See, we talking about the wealth of commitment. What is the wealth of commitment and marriage to you? I.e., from Jacob was saying yesterday, and I think it's a great topic, because, honey, that is what gems are made of, right? Yeah, see me playing with that. I celebrate myself last night. That part. How did you celebrate yourself last night, Queen? What did you do? How did you take time to make sure that you refilled you so that you could show up in your roles and titles, right? Because that was what I Choose Me was all about. It was I Choose Me, hashtag no more excuses, because you were born enough. And then so often, and Chef Ryan, he brings me women all the time. Even the women and the basketball team with the kids and stuff. People like, yes, you have to speak to her because she's doing everything. And she needs to take that time for herself, right? Because that's the name of the game. I'm better for you when I'm better for me. And so I get so excited when he'd be like, oh, she would be perfect for the movement. And I'm just like, he's just as into the concept of us being able to take those breaks, because as moms, we we can't help but to want to do everything. Now, even if we need to, if we should, it's in our nature to nurture.
Mhm.
So it's easy for us to end up depleted.
That we be depleted
because of just, how we show up and just the extent that majority of us are willing to go through. I won't say everybody, because then there are always exceptions to the rules, but for the majority of the time, you are trying to balance everything and still be everything to yourself. So yeah, it's like the whole concept. And maybe that will be one of my first TikTok videos of description, is the description I would do at the refill station with the cup, and showing them the importance and using the I am cards to explain the power in filling you up and making you well, right? The right type of well, so that you can overflow. So let me get to the comments. Melissa says it was the best date ever. With my hubby, best date ever with my hubby. I'm trying to tell you, you guys look so happy. So it is just something about that's the wealth of a marriage, right? It is actually the riches. I would say the riches, right? Because now, because I know what wealth means, when I think about wealth, I'm like, the scars of marriage. No, that's the gifting after the healing, right? So it's like the riches of marriage is being able to say, this is our time. I choose us, right? Turn me, as Chef Ron said, upside down and make it we, right? Because that's what marriage is all about. It takes from me to we, because we become one, right? And so that's the power. I remember we was in the clubhouse one day, and he said that, and he said, we had a gentleman in there talking about his wife not feeling loved or seen. He said, well, turn that me time into we time. And when you turn the me time into we time, then you'll find time for you, because you first made time for her. So get her time. You ever wear out the kids and then be like, all right, let me go? Same idea. Put her first. So when you make me we, then it becomes you at the end of the day, right? So it's not, and then it's not saying that you don't get to take time for you. It's just remember to take care of the things first. So, so I think that is a good way of having a wealth of marriage, turning the me time into we time, because before you got married, it was supposed to be identifying self. So that's the time you were supposed to take to figure out who you are, right? And then when you got in the marriage, now you're trying to figure out who we are together. How do we work? How do we complement? How are we committed to the finish line? And so, yeah. We got to put that in the chapter of our book. When me becomes we, what do we see?
I love the me turning into
Queen
we.
Jem says,
I looked over how far we've come enough to celebrate.
Come on now.
That part. You always got to. That's the only reason why you look back.
What they said, my soul looks back and wonder.
Come on now. To just see how far you've come and the things you've come through,
and how you made it through.
Come on now, all the trials and tribulations, to know that it can be done.
Girl, no apologies. We understand.
We gonna make it do what it do.
We gonna figure it out, honey.
Figure it out.
My Twitter fingers be like that too. I be damn.
That's the Twitter fingers.
My Twitter fingers be dead. I be like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, that's not what I was supposed to say.
But y'all know what I mean.
Y'all know what we mean.
Look, we gonna figure it out. We gonna make it make sense.
But I think that is so awesome, Kia. You know what? I found a lady that does the little screens that you just buy them and you can put them on.
The who?
On TikTok, there's a lady that does like the screen, the sticker thing, where you just buy them and then you just wrap them around the cup, and then when you take it off, it's like just secure, and it's like, and you can wash and everything too.
What, to put a design on it?
For us to get like coffee and conversation mugs.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay,
we're gonna be looking into that. We're gonna have some homework.
Oh, right.
We're gonna get some mugs, y'all, that's gonna say coffee and conversation.
Come on now. That's gonna be cool.
You are so welcome, my love. Good morning to
Good morning,
the birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie's Angels. How are you doing?
Charlie's Angels.
Good morning, Charlie's Angels.
Look at that.
How is life treating you? Let me tell you something. Yeah. Did you see how sleeping in gives you? I got 15 more minutes of spunk in me from that.
I see, because I'm over here still trying to open my eyes.
And I'm like, because let me tell you something. That's how you feel after you come out of that Sabbath. Oh, I just feel so like, yes. Life just feels like it's where it's meant to be. And guess what Chef Ron was doing? What? He was looking up auditoriums because he's like, he said you can have a show, a Become Your Magic show. I was like, really? Because because I was saying if money was no object, that I would, do performance and, do shows and go on tour, and then it would be free to people. And all they would do is do donations when they got there, however they felt, almost like a spiritual, like, how church, whatever you feel, honey, sow whatever seed you want to sow for what, for what was planted in you. And so he was like, guess what? So he was looking at different places and he was like, you can do a show. You can look, this place got 200 seats. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to do a show. I'm going to use my, get a nice little space for my 501c3. And then I'm going to make it free. And I'm going to just do a Become Your Magic with the F is Your Mustard Seed tour. Okay. And so no excuses no more, right? And so he was like, listen, and he was showing me the thing, like, what you want to do? So I'm about to get in action for my attraction. Okay. Because yes, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing. There's just too little love. So
Misha says, I love your vision, queen.
Thank you, boo.
But she said she's headed to a job interview. I'm passionate about it. Prayers for me this morning.
Oh, all yes. Right, now, we are touching and agreeing for you, Queen Gem. Yes. And let me tell you something. When you go in that interview, remember that they are not interviewing you. You are interviewing them to make sure they fit in what you have to offer, because the value is all you. So when you go in there, you remove all of that nervousness by remembering that it would be an honor to have you be a part of their community in order to take them to another level.
Take them to another level.
Right? Because what you are is coming to create momentum in their dream, right? So remember, when you feel in that energy, know that you are
the prize.
Right? You are the So go in there with that energy, with that sweet spirit that you have, and just let them know why they need you for their dream, right? Because that's what you are. You are implemented of dreams. So allow me to give your business the momentum it needs with this thing that I have. And you let them know and at least have that energy. And it just changes.
They ain't interviewing you, you interviewing them
that part
to see why they job needs you. To let them know why they job needs you, honey. Okay.
So that part. So yes, you would do just great, because I know.
Because she's a gem.
I know you are.
So shine bright like the diamond.
Glory,
honey.
Preach. When I can.
Come on.
I say it again and again, honey. To God be the glory. You got this. So yeah. So no luck needed, just success. Right. And I hope that when you get there, it still feels like they fit that part, because that's all you need, is to feel like that's where you belong and that's where you shall be. Trust and believe that, because faith is freedom after insight to higher self. So just as we said, you're on your way because you're hiring yourself. It doesn't come to you. You was in action for your attraction. So that's the bottom line. Nobody gives you nothing. You go take whatever you want because you showed up and you said, this is mine. Okay? That's the energy. That is the energy. So we touching on agreeing on that, honey, because that's how I do. That's how Chef Ron. I used to go to job when I was doing, I'll go through the tent and they be trying to hire me, and I'm like, oh no, I don't even like this here. We want to sign you over. I do not like how y'all moving. First of all, my husband got 2 jobs. I don't have to be here. This is a holiday day.
Everybody
Yeah, I
hates
used to
Chris.
come home and then the teacher be like, what's the
Everybody
name?
hates Chris.
Everybody
I
hates
ain't got
Chris.
to take this.
I don't
class.
gotta take this. Honey, some jobs was too insubordinate for me. I'm like, what you mean I can't go to my child's game? Who the hell y'all think y'all are? What do you mean I
So
can't
y'all
take a day
more
off?
important than my child having to go to a doctor's
I
appointment.
said, listen, that's why I'm an
I ain't asking y'all
entrepreneur.
nothing.
Because
I'm
what y'all
telling
right.
you, that's what I be telling my firing now. I be like, babe, see, you tell them. You ain't asking them
permission.
nothing.
You grown as hell.
I'm letting you know that
I won't be here
will
tomorrow.
be off.
So I suggest.
So whether you say yes or no, it don't matter to me. I'm just giving you a.
I suggest you have a replacement tomorrow before you be understaffed.
Right? Everybody hates Chris. Did the Pam from Everybody Hates Chris? My man got 2 jobs came out yesterday.
Honey, they would be cracking up. Matter of fact, when I was walking around the job, they said, okay, here come Mother P. Now, I'm like the youngest person in there, but everybody calls me Mother P. Because I'm like, wait, these are the conditions? Listen, they don't want me in. What do you mean? This is unacceptable. I'm like starting, power to the people. They be ready for Sister Soldier to be out of there.
Came out, honey.
And I be activated. I was grown as, I don't know what, had 5 kids, and my husband's like, did you just have an adult sleepover? I was like, okay, all of y'all, I'm going to do a nice little thing at my house. We're going to have things. I'm going to speak. We could do vision boards, honey. I had the women at the job come over and have a sleepover. My husband's like, I cannot.
And they go back to work.
They go back to work with a whole new attitude.
They like, well, what the hell happened to y'all?
And he's such a good sport because I'm like, oh, yes, I'm going to have an event here tonight. I'm going to have some of the co-workers. We call it a sleepover. I remember when Chef Ryan went out of town, I called my sister wife. I was like, Nicole, come have a sleepover with me. She was like, okay, I'm getting my...
A kid.
I'm a big kid. I'm used to people.
You used to people.
Yeah, so I came from a large family.
Yeah.
I created a large family. So I'm a homebody. So I just love being home. But yes, honey, that was me. That was me, honey.
Oh my God. Come on, Melissa. She said, take that interview by storm, Queen.
That part.
Gamisha, you got this. Sending high vibes and positivity your way. I touch and agree with you. Take it by storm, girl. She said, thank you so much, Melissa. Glorious. Great morning, queens and kings. Good morning, Faye.
Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you. Oh my God, I'm gonna figure this out. And that video, I may just start playing that video as my opener. You know, you could download a video and it could just be you know, how our show comes on when we're about to do like a countdown. 10, 9, 8 type of countdown. And I'm gonna save that video so when the kids come up, it's gonna be like good morning too, and then pop up it's Coffee and Conversations. I think that's what I gotta do. I'll put Essence on it, honey. The paparazzi queen, honey. She keeps us. Yeah, she paparazzi because she always got pictures of everything. That's why she got the video and everything. She sends videos in our group chat every day. And I'm like, girl, where did that video come from?
Child, those things you be sending me, I'll be dying laughing. I go from getting serious to laughing to I'm like, oh my God, where she get these things from? It'd be funny.
It'd be hilarious, right? Because people, when you actually look at what people think you cracking up, because you're like, okay, it wasn't just me. When you see what people do, you're like, yo, the world, we're just so much more alike than we're different. And it's like, when you talk about it, it's like, oh, okay, I ain't no different than you. Crazy. That thing is hilarious. Like when it be like, when we always see the couples TikToks, so they're like, okay, men waiting on this, or it's just like all of them. It's like it's such a universal language that when we realize that we all are the same, it don't even matter the colors. It's really female versus male. Yeah. That's the difference. Like we are when they would say that women are from Venus and men are from Mars, is nothing more truer. What did Dr. Seuss said? Nothing more truer than that. Truer than true. Honey, that is true.
Truer.
So what is today's topic? What does a wealth of marriage and commitment mean to you? What would y'all say that when you think about wealth of marriage and commitment? Like, what does that mean to you? Listen, I'm warming up my coffee. What does that really mean to you to have a wealth of marriage and commitment? The riches of marriage and commitment. Like, when you can think about an idealistic way of having a wealth of marriage and commitment, how does that seem? Like, what does it bring forth for you?
Honey,
I'm trying to think. For me, a wealth of marriage and commitment is, of course, the process of, you know, putting the sand, building out of what y'all become, right? Being able to get past everything to get to the promise, right? Because when we think about wealth, it's really, the vision is the promise, is what they see, but the process was what it took, right? And so when you think about your marriage and what it took, that's how you can understand the value. So when people are looking at the promise, you know, you understand what it cost you, right? Because when you're thinking about wealth, you're thinking about the cost. You're thinking that they can afford anything, right? So if you have a wealth of marriage and commitment outside of the scars that you have on the process of becoming that picture, because who you was in your first 10 years is not who you are in the next 10 years, is not who you are so we are always leveling up and evolving in it. So
don't stay the same.
So it's like when you look over the distance of the marriage that you have created, what is the promise of it? Like, what did it cost you? What was it worth? What is the values that you find out of it that are, it's the word intangible, right? Where you can't put, you know, you can't put a price on it, but it is a feeling of worthiness, is a feeling of commitment, growth, product, right? Because that's the promise, right? The commitment in the marriage is what makes you rich, is because of that promise that we now see before us, right? Because it's like people look at the finished product like, oh my God, they've been together 50 years. Oh my God, they've been together 40 years. Oh my God, they've been together 30 years. Now, the wealth of it is that people always see the shine on it. They just see the numbers, right? But not too many people stop and say, oh my God, how did you do that? Or what were the lessons
behind the
longevity of it all, the commitment behind.
Yes, the commitment.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning.
Good morning, Nancy.
I'm on one today. I'm on one.
You woke today. She woke. I'm over here like.
Be like, yeah, marriage, longevity, commitment, que sera. What she said.
Yeah, y'all hear her, what she's saying. Y'all hear. Look, I'm the one. Yeah, that part. Man, listen, it's the commitment for me.
It is.
It's the commitment for me.
The commitment is everything.
That's what makes it wealthy.
I love it.
Shoot, being committed is a job.
Oh my God.
Because you have temptations every day. While me and mommy was in the daggone roses, and the guy on behind me was like, I could pay for your stuff. I was like, that's okay. He was like, can I get your number? I was like, you don't see this ring on my finger? He was like, why are people so disrespectful? Now, when you say,
no, you know what?
Married,
I want to tell you something. No, I want to tell you why people are so disrespectful. Because once again, it's the process, which would lead me to assume that he's messed with a married woman before, right? Because then you get the generalized. So honestly, you know, we all know everybody's not as perfect as they need to be, and everybody's not as committed in a relationship as they need to be, which is why people ask that question. But I'm gonna be honest, there are some marriages that are open.
I mean, yeah. They do.
So I guess they say entanglements, right? I'm done with you right now.
No, that ain't me, boo. I don't do the entanglements. I'm committed.
So you know they see something they
I
like,
treat my husband where I
they
want
figure
to.
they act. And I'm gonna tell you,
Limited me.
you know what else they do that for? Because they want the, once again, sex with no commitment. Because if they think
No
you're already
strings attached.
married,
Like, okay, she ain't gonna be
they
stressing
know
me.
that you ain't gonna be stressing them, calling them. They don't gotta get no
Right,
holly
'cause
gifts.
I ain't got-
They want free
You
cat.
know what?
Free cat. That's all they want. They want some free cat
When they
on their
already
list.
got some.
Who knows? They want that one. He was
I
looking
know,
like,
they
ooh,
want
she
something
look good.
different.
And so let me see. First of all, what the first thing he offered? We just
To
had that
pay for
conversation.
my stuff.
To pay for your stuff, because he wants you
See
to
what
know
I'm saying?
that
we
when
ain't
you
even
with
dating,
me,
he the money. He giving me
because,
something
but that's
more.
what I'm saying. They understand that they need to exchange of value. Now, the more they pay, because you know they waiting for.
I can't spend money on you. Well, let me get your number then.
Guess what?
He
That part.
offered
That
something
part. Before he asked, give to receive. So he has got that part right.
Dang, I should have let him pay for my stuff and
say no, thank you.
Yeah, right. Dang. That would have been our money for the mall.
Period. You could have saved your $20.
Sure.
I'm done with you. But seriously,
To
that's
come
the
out
point.
car, that we putting our stuff in the car. He pulls up on the side of the car talking about.
And marriage has lost its
You don't wanna go to lunch?
credibility,
I was like,
right?
Lord Jesus, if you don't go somewhere, go.
Oh, he was trying to take you to
He
lunch.
was
there.
like,
They don't take
looking
them,
at
yeah.
me. I was like, he said, I can't take you to lunch. I said, go.
Go on, boy, go. Not get.
You lucky Byron. Now go on and get now.
Lucky Byron ain't see you heard it. Byron come bouncing over there like, you looking at me talking about woman.
Now go on and get.
Why you still got breath?
Skedaddle.
Look at that. I'm serious. But
Come
you know
on
what
now.
is unfortunate, as I was saying, that so many people have they put such a
They don't respect
stain on what marriage
They don't respect
is and the respect and you know the commitment of it all. That's the concept. The concept is, first of all, as we were saying in the other show, that I can buy you, right? And the buying they don't know how much you cost, right? Because that's what the level up it is, right? So every date they take, that's what they say. If you say, listen, if you say up front, we're not doing them for 90 days, and they know that, they thinking, how many dates?
Yeah.
I don't know. You ain't worth no 90 days worth of waiting, right? Because they doing the math. Okay, the average date gonna be $100. Let's say the average date gonna be $100. We gonna date if we lucky once a week, twice a week. You see what I'm saying? That's $200 in 4 weeks already. That's 246. That's $800 times 3, 860. That's $2,400 I would have invested before I got a treat. So they automatically knowing that I gotta invest for a return. They don't know when the cha-ching gonna come out, but they're thinking that them wooing you and dining you and whining you is gonna get them where the chastity belt. You know what they said? They said they try to unlock the chastity belt. So they can get the prize. So ultimately, that's just an example of how it starts, right? Can I pay something for you? Now, can I get your number? Because now I'm a stand-up guy, but I already got a stand-up guy. So like I said, when they see that ring, they want the treats without the work, honey. They want the treats without the training, baby. You heard me, Kia. They see that ring, they want the treats without the training.
I'm like, y'all seen that girl? That's why I'm asking. I don't got time for the commitment.
I saw that ring.
Like, I'm mad for damn self. Get your ass.
Get your ass out of my face. So yeah, we definitely gotta
do better.
Make marriages great again.
Make marriage great again.
Seriously, because the whole concept and the number system and just the I guess.
And you know what? But that's what we were saying. Remember when we was watching Dynasty and we were saying how the man with the money, like he's always wifed up.
Yeah.
He stays with the wife.
He stays with a wife.
He stays having a wife. because he got to be grounded.
Right. So that's
even
that's
though
the
he
point.
could get any food he wants
every day,
because they throw money at everything, right?
Right.
But they stay with a wife. Them people stay with a wife with that money
because that's a wealth mindset, right? You understand that that commitment, that grounding, that security is what multiplies, right? Because two is always better than one. And then when you have a wife, you have a good thing. You have somebody who is intentional about who you are. And like I said, we came to multiply you. And that's whatever that is. That's whether we're going to multiply what they say. When you give us a seed, we multiply that. You give us a house, we make it a home. There's this thing that I've read sometimes on the thing that the woman is the multiplication, right? So God said, he already had this, but I needed you to give you a wife. I love my wife.
I know you do. Ron says, I love my wife. I
love you too, boo. But
I love the love.
So it's like it's that's what the commitment is all about, right? It's getting to that level and like to really. I have this thing that to be like a man marries his favorite girlfriend, right? And to be favored. Yes. He married his favorite girlfriend. So to be favored is to be put aside, right? To be chosen is to be favored. And so it's like, and vice versa, right? To say yes is to say, I'm on your same time, right?
Not late asses. We some late asses.
Listen, first of all, we've been here over 30 minutes. Where you been?
We ain't getting paid.
We
ain't on nobody's time.
Because God said we right on time.
And having a conversation. We ain't bound. We ain't at no job. We free.
Anybody clocking in? This internet, it's like, listen. Somebody like, I take my break on y'all time now. You got to be on time. I put my break in for 8:45.
Now, when you think of it like that, we sorry, y'all. We got to hold on now. Y'all gotta have a time.
You got an 8:45 a.m. break. What time you got to work? You ain't
It be like that. Look, I get to work at 8 for that 8:45. At 15
Let me tell you.
From 8:45 to 9, I'm getting this work.
Let me tell you what's so funny. Chef Ron said he was in his class one day, and he had his earphone on, but you know how sometimes it'll knock out. He said we was talking. It was like, what? He was in his like what is it? The CPO class, CPI, one of them classes, the pool training. And he said he had us all live, and the daggone thing came out, and the whole classroom was in there, and it was like, yeah, you got it. He was like, oh, yeah. You know how when we try to share the live, you get on the thing and be like loud as I don't know what. But he had his earpiece. But you know, if your earpiece knock out, this phone automatically go into that speaker version. So he's sitting there. God knows how loud we was, because you know we could be loud sometimes. Look how we just cackling hands. What they say, y'all some cackling hands, honey. We're gonna be cackling to the day we go out of here, honey.
Your stomach gotta stay flat.
Come on, we told you we get our crunches in.
About, you getting a stomach? I said the devil is a liar. Had to start laughing so my stomach could tighten
up. I'm done.
You
so silly.
I was like, I know.
But yeah, so what do y'all think about that? I think that is a good thing. Like, what does commitment look like? And, you know, how are we upholding and the standard of what marriage looks like, right? And I think if people were more into the process, that they wouldn't leave so soon, right? I think it's a false reality of marriage and what it requires, and that it's just supposed to work, and that you're not supposed to work it. So I think a wealth of marriage and commitment is signing up to do the work. It's like thinking about a job, right? When you first got the job, you wanted the job, you interviewed for the job, you got prepared for the job, you got dressed for the job, you said yes to the job, and then you start going to the job, and then you realize, well, dang.
And you've been there for years, even though you be complaining about it.
That's the part I was about to get to, Kia. That right there. You go every day. You don't like the people there. You don't like the boss.
Because if she say one thing to me today,
the only thing you like is what?
your check,
The check.
every week or 2 weeks.
The wages of your time.
And you be like, it ain't even enough to do what you be wanting to do, but you still there. Because you can't imagine not having a check.
And then what happens to the person that got used to the job that they begged for, interviewed for, it was worthy enough for? What happens to that person when they at the job eventually, if it's not their passion, all of a sudden there's a problem. Now that work is bad and the people are bad and they're complaining about everything because the thing that used to give them fire and desire no longer serves them because they got comfortable in the position. And so now they're dreaming a bigger dream. And I think in marriage, it's about realizing that this is the last stop. Like, we got to take those vows seriously. So when you're thinking about it as it's the last stop, what's the first thing you do? You do a comment box at those jobs so that you can start implementing ways to increase the work environment, right? And so if you're in a marriage and you're in a commitment and you're working together, then maybe you should have a suggestion box so that y'all can suggest ways and things. Right.
Your ass getting on my nerves.
So it's like full this week. Yeah, you've been full on my damn nerves this week. Read them suggestions, baby. Vice versa. So we gotta check out ego at the door. That's like I say in doing that test, right? You should listen, when we're done with this School of Husband and School of Wives, there is a test that you will take. Needed. Because on that test, you get to give them not really a test, it's like a report card.
Our commitment box.
We take report cards from our jobs as well, who lets us know, well, how you performed this year in this area where you could work on stuff like that. You know, I'm sure most men are like, we could work on the sex area. We like to get head 5 times a week. Whatever you want to put in your suggestion box, you want to be real with the things that you want to heal in your relationship. So imagine if you took guidance from one another, because you know, let me know what you want. Let me tell you, so that we can be the answers to each other. So we're not looking for a new job. So we're not complaining every day. We're coming, right? Oh, that's the name, Melissa, performance evaluation, right?
Now, Melissa.
So that we can really be responsible with the work ethic, so that we can create the right work ethic, so that there is no deadlines, there is no moving on, there is no retirement from these positions, because we are always evolving. And so I think to have a wealthy marriage of commitment, you have to be open to suggestions for you to get better, vice versa.
To death do us part.
Death do us part. And I want it to be the death of the body and not of the spirit, right? Because the problem is so many marriages are happening because spiritually, the spirit of you is dying, right? It's dying in those places. And so you are fleeing because you don't feel that same vibe, or you don't feel that vibe, you don't feel that love, right? And then the world is convincing you that life is perfect. So you keep on chasing the fake pictures of, like we said, wealth, right? Everybody see the house, but you don't know how it's not a home.
That part.
Right? Everybody see the car, but you know that you're arguing in them doors. The cars look nice, it's a Benz, but everybody's eyes like this. Rah, rah, rah. It's so loud in that beautiful car, right? That Rolls Royce had a whole fight on the way to the club. What I'm saying is, the picture looks good. But what's going on the inside? It's like when we put makeup on and we dress ourselves up, but on the inside we are broken, we are busted, we are disgusted, we are feeling inadequate, but we look good. And then it's like the minute somebody say something, you crumble. You're like, oh shoot, I didn't know you had a crack in your foundation. Come on,
Melissa.
So now, I'm done with her. So that's what you're wondering.
Combustion.
You're wondering what is going on right now. What's going on? Help me, Father God. But that's what I'm saying. If we put the work in, I mean, if we really put the work in by changing how we think, by enhancing the quality of life, by doing the work, learning from other people, right? So it's like, okay, we be like, girl, how you put that makeup on? You gonna learn that? Girl, where you got that shoe from? You ask that. So if you see somebody who has a good relationship, then say, girl, what do y'all
Tell
do?
me the story.
Tell me what y'all do. How do y'all date?
Yeah. To it this long.
What are y'all? What is the secret? Right? We got to stop holding all these secrets about prosperity and growth and love. We got to start being like, let me tell you, this is how I got here. This is the process into this glamour that you see, right? I didn't just wake up like this. I worked into this. So the credit you get is the picture you create. That's God's credit for you. So you get to create the picture by being detailed in your wants, your desires, especially with the one, because God has said if two touch and agree, it is so. So if you never told your spouse what they want, how can y'all touch and agree for it to be so? It requires those two. No, they cannot. Tell them, girl.
You can't keep it in your head. You got to put it in that box. Get it out. Gotta discuss it.
Melissa, you got her started. Don't let those punctuations catch your ass off guard. Why'd I put ass in there? I just felt like ass must have to go there. I don't know why.
All right, don't get your ass. Don't get your ass off guard.
I don't know why that just rolled off my tongue.
That's what Melissa was saying.
I felt like she, like ass was in there. Oh, that's funny. I'm looking for a church now. Can we use DJ instead of cheer?
Choir. Choir?
Oh, choir.
Can we use a DJ instead of a choir? All right, use whatever the hell
yes,
you want.
We can. We definitely can use a DJ instead of a choir. Because guess what? That music is already written.
Come on now.
All right, we got the whole thing. Everybody in there is our choir. The whole ministry is the choir. Listen, Sunday, we're going to start doing Sunday inspirations. And me and Chef Ron is going to bring the word
you reach
together.
The people how you reach the people, right? Everybody got to reach the people the way everybody is for somebody else different, right? We can't all do the same thing, right? You got to reach the other people that ain't being reached.
That
so however way you need to do it.
That sheep.
Come on now.
That don't feel included.
That
needs to be seen. So, absolutely.
The choir. Come on, DJ.
Yeah.
Definitely don't. Definitely don't let them catch your ass off guard either. It was a perfect add-on, P. I was feeling it. It just came out.
It just came and it fell out my mouth like it was on there. I don't know what that was.
That's what she
must have been the spirit in the room. Come on now. Fishermen of men, period. Right? And that's the point. Why would he be so clear? And like we always say, when you fishing, each thing requires something different, right? And even if you were fisher, right, Melissa? You don't want fishing yesterday. You know that when you're trying to catch something different, you got to do something different.
Big mouth bass.
So, and that's another thing. When you're in your marriage, remember that you're still courting them. You're still catching them. You're still, because we're continuing to evolve, right? The reason why people want to leave the job is because when they evolved, the job didn't. When they grew, the job wasn't growing with them. So when you get to spend a lifetime with somebody, it is your responsibility to make sure that you guys are growing together. And that's why that communication and that commitment is important, because when I know I have nowhere else to go but here, I'm going to do the work here. But if I'm telling myself that if this don't work, then that is an option, then you won't do the work because you'll keep on becoming a dreamer. And you know, when you're dreaming, once you get to one spot, you're going to go to another spot because the dream gets bigger. And so sometimes you allow your mate to outgrow the dream because you haven't been flourishing in those ways, like we said, doing the little assessment, right? Being very performance evaluation. That part, and calling that and being real specific and take it as serious as you do every other area of your life. Because in order to process into things, you have to actually go through things, right? You got to actually test, show thyself approve, right? Right? You got to go through tests. And the test lets you know how much information you retained. How much you really know your spouse, that person that you are growing with and committed to die with, right? To live out your breathing days with, right? What does that look like? And so it looks like real commitment is real communication, and not any communication, organic true, real. Because if I'm doing surface stuff, I'm gonna get surface things, right? If you want to go deep sea diving, you got to have the right gear on, right? And so the right gear is a proper mindset, right? To not be so
deep.
Yeah, don't be so sensitive about it. You have to have hard skin, because it's hard as human beings to accept where we are lacking, right? Because everybody wants to feel like they have already arrived, even though the ing is on live, right? If you lived, it's over. But if you're living is a constant thing. And so we want the idea that we are perfect, even though we are in the process of always doing. So it's a mind problem. Yeah. So we got to adjust our mindsets to know that the ing means that we are going to get creative criticism. And it's okay. It's healthy, especially if you don't take it personal. But honey, I can take stuff personal. I'm growing out of the personal thing because, I'm a snap back.
Yeah, don't take
and
it.
Take
it personal.
But that's the part. The part is removing the personal and accepting the process. Yeah. Right? Because it is hard to not take it personal when it's directed toward you, right?
I mean, you being a human, it's hard.
Yeah, when that teacher send that thing to your mama and it be like, such and such is doing great work, but they talk too much, or they such and such is. You remember that letter that the teacher had? That you used to be like, the mama turned it around and read what they said about you. What's your behavior? What's that? And then you automatically got offensive. It's like, no, I don't be talking. They be talking. So now you want to be like, but what did your letter say? Right? So we already, even as kids, we learn to take offense to criticism. Right. So now we want to compare and contrast. So now be like, right.
But she just wants more than you.
That part. So why we putting out my talking?
But so what
we
she's
saying
is you do be talking.
That
but
part.
Just Melissa talk more than you.
That's what
okay, I got you. I heard you very clear. Okay.
See what I mean? That's what we do.
But you do be talking.
So it is easier said than done, but it's really about growing up and really committing to the process of what it looks like to be wealthy outside of the picture, but the work that it took for you to create this thing worth looking at, worth celebrating, worth asking you questions. Why did you become the teacher? Because you first was the student, right? I was a studious student, so I went through it. I was committed to it, and I wanted an A. So when we are so dedicated to getting good grades in every other area, we got to be dedicated to that grade and relationship, because that is the best, as Chef Ron says, covenant God ever made. It was the first one, right? And so when you imagine, if I'm batting an average here, everything else works. Like he was just saying, the billionaire dynasty, he always had a wife. One gone, he looking for the next one. Now he done had his cheating the thing, but he always kept his wife. Kept his wife. Kept a wife. Because he understood that was the value. The value was in that teamwork that makes a dream work. The two minds that don't think alike, which gives balance to creativity, which gives, yin and yang, right? Because that's the part, right? So it's like
partnership for real. That first couple, that relationship, the couple of a marriage is that first true partnership.
That part, that's what Melissa was saying. That's right, exactly. Different fish like certain environments and a particular bait, much like people.
Yeah.
Right? And so to bait that person, you got to know what they like.
What to put on the end of that hook.
Right. Honey. So you put a little beat in the church. You bringing in them young people, because God said if there's one loss, I don't care about all y'all saved people who are high in the spirit all this time. I'm worried about one. Will there be one? If they lost, then what is you doing? You over here celebrating your win when we ain't won, until everybody knows their value, until everybody knows their worth. If the world is filled of all this insecurity and failure and all type of things that have value, the question is, what are we doing? How are we working on creating that the picture in which we were designed to do? So I'm telling you that part is always going to be work. But the question is, are you willing to do the work?
Worth it. And it's well worth the work. Because if you married, you got married for a reason.
Period.
And so it's the commitment you gotta put in that work, and it's well worth it.
And so the riches of marriage is, I think, somebody to always have to talk with your issues with, and to talk about your dreams with, and
I like that box. I like the suggestion box.
Yeah, the suggestion box is cute, right? So just make you a marriage. I think you can I would go to Dollar Tree and get it ain't $1 no more, but or
ain't no Dollar Tree.
$1.25 tree.
Yesterday's prices.
It's not today's prices, but they got cute little boxes, you know, and you dress it up. Put your last name on it, right? The Paulin suggestion box. Make marriage great again. Remember, don't tell Trump I stole that.
Great again box.
But yes, and then you have it, and then I think that y'all check that weekly, like your Sabbath, right? And so, like I said, me and Chef Ron does the soulmate bath every week. That was last night, right? Every Monday we have our soulmate bath where we get to massage each other, pray over each other. We sit in the anointed oil. I mean, we got extra virgin olive oil and stuff. You come out all anointed, remember? And then you just, yesterday we did the just beautiful music, just love songs while we lay. But what I realized is that is intimacy. Those are the things that keep us grounded. That when we're away from each other, we want to call each other, we want to see it, because God draws us nearer with the relationship. And the more we relate, the more we take heed to each other, the more we actually love on each other, the stronger the bond gets, right? Because we don't want the kids to grow up and then we looking at each other like, ooh, who is you? Right. And so I think the best part about a marriage is remembering to find the balance in life to nurture all things at the same time. That's why I say it starts with you. If you nurture you first, then you can pour in all of your roles and titles. Right. But I'm the full cup. It's me. Right. It's you. And then when I'm full, then I say, oh, I'm going to pour some into the mamahood. I'm going to pour some into the wifehood. I'm going to pour some into the sisterhood. I'm going to pour some into the friendshiphood. Like whatever these things that you are in, because you took care of you can now pour into all these other areas that are your roles and titles that take you to your destiny. So I always say that your relationship is a company that God gives you to go where you're going. So he said, you will not go alone. I'm going to give you some company. I'm going to give you a husband. I'm going to give you a wife. I'm going to give you some friends. I'm going to give you some kids. I may give you some lifetime partnerships, right? I'm going to give you all of these things to help you get to where I'm taking you, right? So that you won't feel lonely and you won't feel misunderstood. So I promise you, I'll give you at least one person that understands you. Everybody got one. We would like to look out and see 1 million people at one time, but all you need is one for it to start the ball rolling. And then you build the momentum, right? Because if you can pick up one, then they'll pick up one. And that's how life works. It's like if I touch you and you touch somebody else and they touch somebody else, God is connecting all that to your one touch. Now, you may not know the math, but God is doing the wages. He's counting it up. And so it's like in these marriages that he's ordained and that he's covering, when he see you have tough patches and he watch you do the work, commit to what you committed to, he will bless it. He will grow it. It will evolve. And then people, right? Because God said you become the evidence. And so if they will follow me, it's because they first saw you. So how are you representing this union? How are you representing this commitment? What is the example that you're giving that's going to make people want marriage or not want marriage, right? But remember, it is our examples. And so if you're complaining, then you're going to scare people away. But if you're maintaining and you're saying, listen, marriage has ups,
the best thing in the world, right? Because people are watching you. Not to be pretending, but yeah, marriage is a wonderful thing.
Yes, mommy, you are definitely marriage-minded. Definitely marriage-minded. I'm supposed to be married. It's marriage mindset, right?
We all supposed to be married.
We are. But especially because that's what makes it better, right?
We're all supposed to be in union.
Double is always better than one. I'm just saying.
That part.
Double is always better than one, and you get to the destination way quicker. And I think that's the key. And so being able to know that the process is in the work ethic and the worth ethic. A little God time for couples. That might be cute.
Oh yeah, because we're
talking about marriage, and so we already at 55. I tell you, this month we be flying by. We be flying by, honey. Y'all make an hour go fast. All right, aren't they so cute? I found these little books, and where was that? What did we read on the back of that? Ross, honey. Did y'all know Ross Dress for Less has some good books? Look at all these ones I got.
I know,
this one and this one. They was only $3.99, honey. How you spend your $4 yesterday? Look, this one was $7.49. This is a big one. Love flashes like fire. The brightness kind of
that's
flame.
a daily strip for couples.
Many waters cannot quench love, nor can rivers drown it. See, I was getting these books for our classes that we're about to start. So, so now we have devotionals to go with the motherhood, the I Choose Me, the refill station, and then we have devotionals for couples because that's what I do. We deal with the couples and we deal with the individual momager.
It says a little God time together brings joy and love to your marriage.
That part, right? And so God time is just love. God is love. And he wants the best from us. He knows what we're capable of. And so it's like when you know what you're capable of, you're going to have an expectation attached to the capability. So it's like, ooh, that's a good one. Bumps in the road, pumps in the road. Okay, so our word for today is bumps in the road. And I think that's good for what we talking about.
Okay. Bumps in the road.
I've been talking all day.
You parched or you parched? Okay. Bumps in the road. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. Psalm 1:1-2. No marriage is without a few bumps. These bumps can turn into total derailment if there is no preparation. The word of God is filled with over 5,000 promises and 600 laws. Regular studying of the Bible will help us to understand how to listen to God instead of a self-help book or TV infomercial. When you need to make a decision, run to the wise counsel of God. Call your pastor. Don't let disagreements fester.
That's a word. Are y'all listening here?
Come on now. Did you hear what this book just said? When you need to make a decision, run to the wise counsel of God. Call your pastor. Don't let disagreements fester. Don't do it.
That's a good one right there.
The best way to avoid big problems in your marriage is to never let them get big. Forge a friendship with a couple in your church that has been married longer than you.
That part. We can't make this up.
Come on now. Ask them to share with you what they do to keep love fresh and communication good. What makes their relationship work?
Message.
Come on now. Don't let embarrassment or pride keep you from dealing with problems. Do you have Christians in your life who can help you with your marriage relationship? Talk about where in the Bible you can search for help when you have trouble. Seek for the word. Seek the word.
Listen, I don't even want to put his thing up.
Head, and more head.
Now you know.
That's what Ron said.
You know what I wanted to touch on real fast before we picked our card? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Lord, we want your wisdom and counsel when we disagree. Help us work together to heal our hurts. Help us to be aware when our spouse is hurting. We want our marriage to be strong and vibrant. Wow. You know what I wanted to touch on? I had to use my calculator because it says that God is filled, that the word of God is filled with over 5,000 promises. The 5 is God's grace. And 600 laws, right? And the 600 laws, I do the 6. On the 6th day, he created us in his image, so that's our responsibility. But when you divide 600 into the 5,000, it is 8.333333. So the 8 is the new beginnings, right? And so it's like he got so many promises with so little laws, right? So the promises outweigh the laws by double, right? You could put 600 in each 100. You see what I'm saying? 5,000, every 1,000, you got 400 left over that adds over. So you talking about that's the power in his promises, and what he requires from you is not nearly as much as the overflow of your return, right? 7 times over, 8 times over, just infinity, multiplication on what he has promised you. So the promises are endless, and the laws not so much. You understand? So when you commit to what he asks of you, the return of your investment, when he said he opened up a window and there's so much that you can hardly receive the blessings, that's what he's saying. I'm not asking much from you, but for the little things you do, I'll give you 10 times over. And so that's what we have to remember, that them 600 laws with 5,000 promises gives you a new beginning, because that 8 stands for a new beginning. And so when you get to recognize just how far you come, you get to renew your mind daily and start over and over again, because he said there is the promises attached to every one law. That means every one law got a whole lot of promises attached to it. And so when you follow and condition yourself accordingly with that integrity and that worth ethic, then guess what? The amount of blessings that he bestows upon you is limitless. Okay. This was a good read. Oh my God. Such a, as always. I need to get me a copy of that magic book you got over there. The reading is always right on point. I'm trying to tell you. Always on point. Melissa is short. That was a song.
We know that song. Hey,
that's how I was singing it.
She sang it right. Hey, in my head. We know what you talking about. That's that old loop. That's that old loop.
Look, I'm over here.
Cotton.
Oh,
let me see you.
Wait. Oh, yeah, but we know that song. That's that old loop.
So we're going to get our I am for the day, because y'all am so amazing. And this was a perfect topic about marriage and commitment and what it means to have a wealthy, right? And that's what's attached to the process. So it means that you keep on doing the work so that you can keep on getting the riches of the wages of what you put in, right? Because if the wages of sin is death, then the wages of love is what? Everlasting life. It is the window that keeps on flowing in your life. And so when you take the marriage that God gave you seriously with your right F of faith, I hope you guys got your book. At the end of this month, the book club starts, and I cannot wait to be talking to you guys in Zoom about how this book is touching your soul. You won't break my soul. I'm telling everybody. Okay, so here we go. I don't know. Ready? I am valuable and extraordinary. That's the extraordinary again, huh? It definitely takes extraordinary.
I'm extraordinary. Y'all know I be extra.
We all extra, honey. Well, the more confident you get, the more extra you become. Let me tell you, it's just that's what extra is. But it's the valuable, right? And so I think that in order to be valuable, you have to know that you're extraordinary. Because remember, your value was found in your valley. And so if wealth is thy scar, then that means you found the value beyond your scars, right?
Yes.
That you allowed yourself to go through those them extraordinary measures in order to get out of those situations, in order to be valuable. So your marriage is valuable because you went through it. Because it's not what you go through, it's what you grow through that makes you so essential, and that gives you the vibrancy to basically be what God called you to be, which was an example. God said that when they asked for something, he sent you. And so he's hoping that you work through with your extraordinary self so that the value that you find will be one that you can share, right? One that you can pass on from generation to generation, right? And so when you be the example, one of the most powerful things I think I've ever heard was when me and Chef Ron was getting married at the wedding, we had all of our aunts and my grandmothers, a lot of my grandmother's sisters and stuff was there too, right? So my great aunts and stuff, but my grandmother and my great grandmother and great grandfather, mother and father is what we call them, mama and father. They were like a pillar in the community, right? And they had so many kids, and they, did the trips, and they just was known as a couple that was just an epitome of love. And so when all of my mom's cousins and aunts and stuff was at the wedding, and we did our dance, and they came up to us and they said, "Oh my God, y'all remind us of mother and father." Meaning we had just begun. So it clearly was an energy in the wedding that made them want to say that. And I took on to that because I've always heard great things about what they represent. So I think that it's important for people to speak value into what you're doing too. That our elders, when you see young people coming up and doing it, encourage them. Let them know that you see them, that you celebrate them, that there was somebody who did it before them and that they can too. And so you're extraordinary when you understand the value or the baton or the part of the race that you are in. And so somebody is waiting for you. Remember, it is a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to bring your peace. So when you go through extraordinary measures to find value in everything you do, then you become essential. So let's make marriage essential. Let's talk about the hard parts, but let's not forget the good parts, because that's the best part. That's what the work was all about. That's what the value came from. It came from those valley moments in which you realize what God was showing you. He was just sanding you off for a smoother finish so that you can tell the story of his glory, so that you can say, "Oh, I may not look like that, but let me tell you where I came through." And so that hope is what brings value to somebody who's just starting out. And so that's what life is about. It's about knowing your worth so that you can do extraordinary things because they are watching.
That part right there. Come on now.
What you got to say? But you want to add something to that? Or you said, we done said it all.
Say, I am valuable and I'm extraordinary.
That part.
Come on now.
Thank you, Kia, for bringing your cousin here.
Oh, my Lord.
Absolutely.
Hurry up and get you home.
Had it not been for Kia, yes, I would not even be in Charlotte. Right?
Honey.
That's the part. The value and how everybody is connected. Honey, I was like, oh, no. But you can read how I got here and what the F is your mustard seed.
The book. So
look at the link above, hit the link and get yourself a book. The beginning
and the journey
of how we got here.
You could now write your own story.
That part. Amen.
Okay? And understand what the F is your mustard seed.
So as
you are absolutely welcome. She knew she wasn't going to stay in New York and I'm all the way here. She wasn't going to do it. She was going to come eventually, honey.
Well, did I come the same year? Yeah. You was at the beginning. I was at the end one night. I was by the end of the year.
I came in May of 99. And I came in after you graduated.
I came in. No, well, actually, I was already up a year after that. I came in October of 99. September, October. I think it was October of 99.
October?
Mhm.
Okay. I know it was the same
It's
year.
just a couple of months later. She talked me into it, and I was here. But I said to myself, if I didn't like it, I can always go back.
Mhm.
But if it turned out to be what it is, then I can move forward. And that's the thing about taking chances. You can always go back to where you came from,
Right.
but you can never discover
Take
new
a
ground.
chance.
So you owe it to yourself to give yourself an opportunity to see, because look what it panned out for me. I am happily married.
Come on
21
now.
years with 5 amazing kids. A
Amazing.
wealthy, WELLTHY relationship, love, work ethic, and even a whole
extraordinary
career in my purpose. I have a career in my purpose.
Come
And that
on
for
now.
me is above all. How many people got a career? We're going to have a topic about that. Is your career your purpose? So I can honestly say that I am working in my purpose, and that is my career, because that is the thing that's going to change the way people show up. That is my extraordinary piece that makes me so valuable. And so that's what I love. Coming here taught me that I can be who I always wanted to be, right? Because I had the love and support and the commitment, and I had a marriage. So of course, having a husband, having that extra person is definitely why I have flourished in the way I have flourished, because with that partner, I was able to dream. I was able to invest in myself. I was able to find balance. And most importantly, I was able to find value, because when I found value, I began to know my worth. And once I knew my worth, I began to accept that I was worthy. And once I knew I was worthy, I said yes. I said yes. So you are worth the yes too. And so I'm grateful. Love you too, boo, honey. I love you too. So let's talk about marriage.
Baths, honey.
Them soulmate baths.
Y'all better start taking these soul baths with y'all mate, honey. It will bring y'all into unison. Unison. That's it. Yeah, unison. Honey.
So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's lights, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. And remember, responsibility is the measurement in which you can respond. Everybody has one. So no excuses. I choose me. # no more excuses, because you were born enough. You've been tuned into Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. We love you. I hope you catch the replay if you missed it.
Yes.
We appreciate everybody who stayed on and kept the conversation going. You guys make our mornings great.
Yes,
won't you agree?
We love it.
So whether we rolling out the bed or got something to do, you definitely keep us on our toes.
We ain't gonna be on time. We gonna be here.
We gonna be on God's time. Will there be what? So God's timing is always right on time.
Yes.
So we love you, love you, love you. Don't forget to love on yourself, because love grows everything. Yeah. So love yourself first.
I'm not under pressure.
You gotta put. Oh, show them. Oh, look at that. God. Are you God's bae? Bringing anointing everywhere.
We blinged out up in here. We blinged out.
Because when you wear I Choose Me, you're really wearing yourself.
Who don't choose them, honey? I choose me.
We love you. Flip those switches. There's a book. Don't forget to get that book. We love you, love you, love you. Until tomorrow.
We will see y'all in the morning.
Period.
Have a blessed one.
Bye-bye.